What is up? What is up? What the hell is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to another power-packed episode of the Dark Horse Entrepreneur. I am your humble host, Tracy Brinkmann, as you already know, and today we're diving into the vibrant world of content marketing. Over the past few episodes, I've kind of explored the significance of your core offer and a variety of strategies that you can use to enhance it. But now we're going to talk about how you can leverage content marketing to amplify that core offer and skyrocket your business growth. Are you ready to turn your content into a magnet for your core offer? Well, then let's get started. But before we dive in, because this topic's a little huge, and I have dedicated, like 20 episodes to it. So clearly, I can't reveal everything in this short power-packed episode. So if you want to learn more about content marketing, please go ahead and check out the links to past episodes that will be down in the show notes. So what exactly is content marketing? Well, you probably know, but let's go ahead for those that may not know, or maybe we just need to tweak your awareness a little bit more. At its core, content marketing is a strategic approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content. Let me give you those adjectives again. Valuable, relevant, and consistent content, all around attracting and engaging a clearly defined audience. And all of this, my friends, has the ultimate goal of driving profitable consumer or customer action. Bam! There it is. Okay? That's it. That's the definition of content marketing. You're trying to create valuable, relevant, and consistent content that's out there, and its goal is to attract and engage your defined audience in the hopes of getting them to take some action, whatever the action might be. Now, there are different types of content out there. There are blog posts, and blog posts still work, ladies and gentlemen. Do not short the blog post, I'm telling you. And these are usually in-depth articles that provide value to your audience, all while subtly highlighting your core offer or your expertise. And then there are videos. Perhaps you're watching this on a video right now. I do my podcast in audio as well as video form, but videos are engaging. Engaging videos can demonstrate the use and the benefits of your core offer, making it even more appealing. And of course, for those of you listening right now, you're listening to a podcast. So clearly you're already familiar with this one. You're listening to it right now. You can use podcasts to share valuable insights, do expert interviews, and share customer stories related all back to your core offer. And then, of course, there's social media posts, the ever-booming social media. These, my friends, are short, engaging updates on different platforms. They could be Instagram, they could be Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it nowadays, or whatever new platform may be coming up out there. The goal here is to keep your audience informed and engaged, sometime even entertained. The Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast. And I can hear you out there. You're like, look, Tracy, why does this even matter? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here is why content marketing matters in the first place. Content marketing isn't just about publishing content. You just don't put shit out there for the sake of putting it out there. It's about creating this connection between you and your audience. You want to build some trust. You want to guide them through that buyer's journey that we talked about a few episodes ago. And if you haven't heard that, go back and listen to it. You want to take them from awareness to consideration to the eventual purchase of your core offer or any one of your other offers. So let's talk about the steps to creating cohesive content. Well, the first thing you're going to need to do, my friends, is define your goals. What the hell is it do you want to achieve with your content? If you do not know the answer to that one simple question, you're just throwing shit up against the wall and hoping something sticks. Hoping something you want sticks, right? Look, are you trying to get more leads? Do you want more engagement? Are you trying to grow brand awareness? Each one of those warrant different content. So you're going to want to define your goals first, make them clear, and make them measurable. Then you're going to want to understand your audience. Yeah. Develop this detailed buyer persona so that you can understand who the hell it is you're creating content for in the first place. You don't want to be creating content for millennials that sounds like you're talking to someone from the 80s. Probably a little bit of a disconnect there, right? What are their pain points? What are their interests? What are their preferences? What are the key words that they're using in those conversations on the topic that you're the expert on? Aha, yeah, use those keywords. And then you probably want to go through and audit your existing content, right? What stuff you've already put out there. Let's review what you already have in the playing field. Maybe identify some gaps that might be out there. Identify some opportunities for improvement. Also that you can help better align your content with your core offer. And at the same time, maybe you identify some, wow, I didn't even realize this one hit so big. So many of you out there, unfortunately, do not pay attention to your metrics. You can want to look at what hit. I'm willing to bet if you put 100 pieces of content out there, something performed above the average. What was it? Why do you think it performed better? Huh? Gain some insights from the information you already have at hand. Then create yourself a content calendar. Plan your content ahead of time, ladies and gentlemen. Don't wake up in the morning and go, what am I going to be putting out today? No. A well-structured content calendar ensures consistency and helps you keep track of important dates, important events. You have a book signing coming. You got this coming up. A new upsell is coming out. You can link those things together. Oh, you're getting ready to speak on somebody's stage. Well, you can kind of boost that up as you're going along. See? Yeah. And I'm going to give you some quick tips for content creation and scheduling. They're really easy. Just 3 to go with here. Obviously, 1 is be consistent. You hear this all the time. I get it. Shut up. I've heard it so many times. Here's the thing. Regularity is key. I don't care whether it's a blog post every week or a video every month or a podcast episode once a week, whatever it is, keep a consistent schedule. You're going to build up a fan base of folks that are waiting to hear your information. If all of a sudden all they hear is crickets, they're going to move on to the next expert that's on their list. And trust me, you're not the only one that they're listening to. Okay. And in consistency, it's not just about the schedule. Please keep your content valuable.
The Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
If you consistently put out crap, guess what? You're going to get crap in return. So let's make sure you're putting out valuable content, sending out your best energy so that you can start getting that back. Now, to make this a little bit easier, tip 2, let's batch our content creation. That's what I do. Right? I'll sit down on a Sunday and I'll create multiple episodes. And then I'll also create some of the social media content that goes with those episodes all at the same time. I'm already sitting here behind the camera, got the microphone going, may as well do it all at once. Dedicate specific times to create multiple pieces of content in one sitting. Right? This can save you some time, and it also ensures that there's this flow that's consistent through all those pieces of content, right? When you see a little clip from this podcast episode, it's going to sound the same, even though I may have recorded it separately. Now, this ensures you always have content ready to go, ready to publish, and all aligned with what it is you're thinking in that moment. And then, here's the magic piece. Let's repurpose content, shall we? Let's do things like create this comprehensive blog post and then turn that comprehensive blog post into a series of social media updates, or take a podcast episode and turn it into a blog article, or let's take a podcast episode and turn it into multiple pieces of social media content. You want to maximize the value of each single piece of content you create, because I can guarantee you this podcast episode, even though it's a shorter one, is going to be turned into a blog post, a series of social media posts, and then it's going to be turned into a relevant TikTok, a piece of power content, as well as a LinkedIn article, 4 Facebook posts, and 4 tweets, all out of one single podcast episode. Yeah? So here's a quick example of perhaps a simple schedule. On Monday, we're going to publish a blog post. On Wednesday, we're going to share a social media update relevant to that blog post. On Friday, we're going to release a new podcast episode or a video that all ties back to the original blog post. That's not what my schedule is, but that's an example of how simple this could be. And maybe you sprinkle in on Tuesday, I'm going to drop in 2 tweets. And on Thursday, I'm going to drop in a couple of Facebook posts. Whatever works for you. And then what you do impromptu in between that, well, that's just icing on the cake. Okay? Now, I mentioned metrics and looking at things for effectiveness. Here's some key metrics that I think you're going to want to track for determining your content's effectiveness. Okay, let's talk about engagement metrics and then conversion metrics. They're 2 separate things. And again, this comes back to whatever goal you're trying to accomplish. Engagement metrics are your likes, your shares, your comments, and the time spent on page. This can all indicate how well your content is resonating with your audience. Not getting any likes? There's a clue. Not getting any shares? There's another clue. If no one's if they're liking and sharing, but they're not commenting, you're on the cusp of something, but you just need to engage them a little while longer. If they're coming to your page and then they're just bouncing right back off again, well, there might be a disconnect from where they linked from and what they landed on. You follow me? You could tell them something like, hey, if you want to see the top 5 tips for getting engagement, and then you drop them off on the homepage of your website, and there's nothing about those tips of engagement, I'm out. There's a disconnect, and I'm just going to bounce back out. All right. So you want to take them right there to the spot that's aligned with where they're linking from. Now, let's talk about conversion metrics. You're going to want to track how many visitors turn into leads. And then how many of those leads turn into customers after interacting with your content. Bam! There it is. And then, of course, there's your obvious traffic metrics. And I only said there was 2, but let's talk about traffic metrics just here for a moment. Keep an eye on your website traffic.
The Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Where's it coming from? Right? How many unique visitors? How many page views? How long are they sticking around? What is the flow that they're going through? Right? If you're sending them to that specific page that they linked into, are they going through a flow and looking at other things too? If not, why not? Yeah. And then if they're coming into your homepage from some basic thing like, hey, you're going to look down in the show notes here. You're going to see darkhorseschooling.com. You're going to click on that. What's the flow that they go through? Right? And when you start seeing them, wow, a high percentage of my folks keep going to this one page. There's a clue. You're going to want to dig into that. Some tools for helping you measure all these things. Obviously, there's Google Analytics. Everyone knows about that. This is a very comprehensive tool so you can track just about everything that's going on your website traffic and the user behavior behind that. Then, as I mentioned earlier, there's social media analytics. Right. Let's look at what's going on inside your social media arena. How many likes am I getting? How many shares am I getting? Are they commenting? Right? What pieces of content are spiking higher than everything else? Please look into your social media analytics. Then you also have things like content management systems. WordPress is a content management system, a CMS as some people call it. There are lots of analytic plugins that you can use that can give you insights about content performance. Link Google Analytics to your website and you'll get a lot of that as well. But there are other additional plugins that are out there to help you drill down in your arena. Look, at the end of the day, I think measuring is essential. And why is it essential? Well, continuously monitoring these metrics will help you understand what's going on and what needs to be improved, what's working and what's not, so that you can step on the gas on what's working and then look at what's not and figure out how you can improve it. It allows you to make data-based decisions, not emotional-based, not trend, whatever's going on in the trend world. Oh, everyone says I got to do this. Let me go do that. And you get you get nothing in return. You want to make data-driven decisions. And then you can refine your content strategy as a result of those data-driven decisions so that you can get better results. Okay? All right, my dark horses. Let's wrap up today's episode right here. We dived into the concept of content marketing, which I've talked about many, many times, and I'll link some other episodes, or you can just go to darkhorseschooling.com and then search for content marketing. You'll see I've done a number of episodes. Some of them I spent one time a whole week on just this topic. Multiple episodes. We did like 5 or 7 episodes on just content marketing. Go check those out. Okay, we explored various types of content. We discussed how to build a cohesive content strategy, and we covered the essential metrics to measure your content's impact on your audience so that you can maximize your effectiveness. Now, it's your turn. Yeah, don't just listen to this podcast or any other podcast out there and not take some action. I want you to start by defining your content marketing goals. Then understand your audience, like I mentioned earlier. Then go ahead and develop your content calendar and begin creating and scheduling your content and putting it out there. And don't forget, go ahead and do a little batch creation of your content so that you can spend, a shorter amount of time and then just schedule it out. And don't forget to measure the results to ensure you, my friend, are on the right track. Hey, look, if you found today's episode a little bit valuable, even a little bit, don't forget to go ahead and hit down there and hit subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to this on. Subscribe to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast. Leave us a review. Leave us a rating. It helps us. I mean, it is your feedback that fuels our journey and helps us bring the best strategies and insights to you. Look, I personally follow my own advice in this particular case and look at my own metrics. I look at my own metrics and I see which one of you out there listen to 100% of an episode, 80 or 70% of an episode versus 10%. And I make less of those 10% episodes and more of the longer episodes, which is why you're hearing a lot more of Tracy going solo. Because I was finding a lot of folks when I bring in these amazing guests, while they're still amazing guests, they don't listen all the way. I don't know why. Whatever it is, you go on to listen to me babble. So here we are. Okay, and with that, I'm going to leave you as I always do. Until next time, keep creating, keep engaging, and stay unstoppable. Think successfully and take action.
Hey, my Dark Horse Entrepreneur parents, thanks for tuning in. If this episode struck a chord, share it with a fellow parent hustler. Let's grow our tribe that thrives, not just survives. For more insights and a community that totally gets it, join our Facebook group at www.darkhorseschooling.com/tribe. Think successfully and take action.